Wassim, how are you?
Good, good, John. How are you?
I'm not going to give you a full introduction yet. I'll do that in just a moment, but I have a question for you because we've been talking about raising kids and raising staff members. I mean, sometimes we we feel that we're raising, this culture. The chairman used to say that children are not born with gratitude. You have to teach them gratitude. So
Absolutely.
Wasim, I don't know how. First of all, I know you come from a mind of science. You were a scientist or are a scientist. You launch America's probe of outer space. You have a PhD in aerospace application. How did your kids get so smart? Is that DNA? Is that nature? Or is that nurture? I mean, how'd you do it? What's your secret?
It's everything, So we all have the DNA. It's a discipline that you really put from early on. It's spending time, with everyone has the mind to really do power, power, power stuff. But the thing is like it's up to us to make sure that we keep focusing on them, looking at the road, the road that you want them to be on. So, and that's why sometimes, like your father, I'm sure my father both passed away. Even when we get older, sometimes we do something with our children. They'll look at you and say, I never did that to you. You should not do that, right? And you're like, what are you talking about, right? So we try to go against them. What happened is they're above us. They see exactly. So they're looking maybe we're like 50 feet up. They're maybe 100 feet up. They know exactly what we're doing versus how they're doing it, right? So, so I think that's what it is with the children. They see you. They need to have leader in front of them. So I
Nice.
had the opportunity to become, to get my PhD in aerospace, and then I worked the field and so forth, and then but it's like any other job. It's that there's no difference between electrician or whatever. So it's not something I'm super smart. I'm just disciplined to really, when I put something in my mind, I'm gonna get it. It goes with the business too. It goes with anything in life. So
This is one of the most difficult questions I could ask you. So let me apologize. The chairman used to say that kids aren't born with gratitude.
we teach
It
guys.
needs to be taught.
Absolutely. The hard way too.
So I don't know how you teach it. Like I don't want a gift from a child. I want them to go get me a Hallmark card and write something out. So how are you teaching discipline and gratitude? Any thoughts? I know that's a real difficult question, but anything come to mind?
It's not. It's really you teach, gratitude, and then it's love. Just you gotta show love unconditionally. Love them because they're yours. And then not just your children, anyone who's in your life, you show them love. You show them, that comfort. And then that's basically that's what gratitude is all about. Is being grateful whatever you have. So I'm grateful that I have you in my life. I'm grateful I have EFC in my life. I'm grateful that your father was part of me growing up too. And then that's gratitude. I feel like I'm grateful for the opportunity we have. And people forget about that. So you have to remind them all the time. And the martial art, our martial art world, our martial art business is something where it's very powerful. It can, but you have to keep trying to remind them because somehow their mind gets off. And you have to bring it back again. It's almost you have a whip in your hand, you can whip him once in a while. Or you have to give that voice like, hey, now and how you do that in class. But then when you're off class, that discipline, it's gonna be the same thing too. It can become, you have to watch it inside, outside of the class. That's how you make your kids to follow the road that you're following. So you are watching them 24/7. And in our business, and basically you develop a team so they can watch them too, and that's basically you watch a team. So that's how it is. It's more about spending time.
Wasim, what I just learned, you're a great guy with your organization of culture. At your peak, you got 2,000 students. You're got multi branches. Your dad sent you to University of Buffalo, at an early age, and there you were, and you built up branches of martial arts schools, and you have other schools in Carolinas. But I know that culture is a very strong part of your organization. But I just learned from you, thinking that we have our own culture at our house too. I mean, with our own kids, that's a part of our culture too. Like my father used to say, uh, don't ever hurt the family name. I mean, we were so hypnotized that we didn't want to do anything to hurt the family name. But your culture, let's switch over to your organization. Let's say that you're having a meeting and somebody is wasting time on the phone. You know that you're losing them, or something has changed in their life. How do you detect that, and what does that tell you?
You know, actually, funny you said that, because it happened to me right now, because we can't see each other personally because we're doing virtual meeting and stuff. And then I meet with them twice a week. And you're right, absolutely. The young generation, that's what I see them with their phone. And or maybe they're, instead to look right there, and then they're looking down, they're doing something else. They're listening. So I see that and I stop. I said, I'm not talking to you guys if you guys are on your phone. Oh, we're busy. I don't care. I said, you're not busy to really listen to me. Even if I'm not the smartest person, even if I'm saying whatever, it's out of respect.
Yes.
I created you. You have to listen. It's just something. But that's how it is with our schools too. Sometimes when you're in class, you're teaching class, man, it's martial arts about that culture that makes sure that they still don't move until I tell you to move. And if you, when you do that, then what happens is, yes, you stress them out. That when they come out, say, wow, that was a workout by itself, because it's not physical where everyone can do physical workout, that internal workout. That's what it is, where I can maybe connect the mind, the body, and your spirit. Because you can work the body, and then you have to work the mind. And then how you connect the mind with that spirit of yours? That's where the heart, that's where we come in the picture.
Great.
To start making believe in them,
You've been also a stickler about sticking to the basics right now, even more so. Yeah. So what does that mean to us as martial arts school owners out there? Why should I be sticking to the basics under this virtual reality? How does that connect?
Well, what do you mean? Right now, the virtual reality, it's virtual. It's almost like, you have to, kids right now, they need to be entertained. Look at, we're fighting a war, which is we cannot even win. Because if you don't make the class exciting for those little children, they're gonna look TV and say, oh no, I wanna watch TV, I don't wanna do this. You gotta animate your classes. But at the same time, once you gotta put that 5 minutes of, okay, let's practice right now. Who's gonna be the most strongest, let's say the most amazing champion in the world? And it's, the champion do it this way. They still don't move for 10 seconds, and then they stay for 10 seconds. Oh, he didn't move. Hey, he moved. And you stop playing that game. But you can't play for too long. So and then it's okay, let's do something and back again to that. Because you need to be able to, we have a war which is where they're fighting us for us because they want our kids to go this way and want our kids to go this way. Mm-hmm. So that's where we come in the picture. And you, of course, connection with those people is very important. How you connect. How whenever the little child comes in, you just go on your knees, look in their eyes, eye to eye.
Beautiful.
Because there's that frequency. We talk about everything. There's a frequency. When I talk, and there's a frequency, I'm gonna hit your center frequency. Every cell in the body has center frequency. And if I can hit that center frequency of yours, I can put you to sleep. I can relax you. I can excite you. I can make you a warrior. I can make you anything I want with that voice I'm sending to you. But
so that center of frequency that you're talking about, give me for instance, how you're going to impact my center of frequency. Give me an illustration.
Well, like an example, look in the eyes. Look in the eyes. You're already connected with that frequency. And sometimes, listen, I'm a fighter, right? So when I used to fight, and people don't always understand, I wasn't big boy. I was small guy, but I was super fast, and I won big championships. I've taken a lot of people, and that's what I did in my old days, and I can still do it if I want to. The thing is, I used to look in their eyes, and you know what? I never told the secret to no one because I don't want no one to know my secrets. I look in their eyes. I can see exactly how strong and how weak they are. I look at my people. I look at my employees. I look in their eyes. I said, tell me exactly. And I know I'm lying. I'm not lying.
So Wassim, when you look in their eyes, what are you looking for? What do you see? I mean, it's intriguing that you're saying that, but what are you sensing?
You know what? It's like that frequency back to me. If a child is hurt, and I said, I go on their knees. That's why you go to their knees. You go to the same level. You look at them. You could tell. You look at them. You can say, man, he's hurt on the inside. Something's up. And you say, it's okay. And then sometimes when you go there, hey, you look at me. You see how powerful you are. Now, no one should really touch you, right? Yes, sir. And then he goes in there and now all of a sudden back again. You change that. You try to create some, because sometimes we gotta go into that mode where we feel like, oh, I'm afraid. No, don't be afraid. You know, I don't want to be calm. I want to be calm and not calm. It's like the weather, right? So sometimes you have great weather and it's beautiful. And then also you have a storm. So, oh my gosh, you're gonna hate the weather? No, it's just happened. But you have to be aware of that you know, the frequency and stuff. And that's why sometimes, yes, I know people are gonna probably say, oh, you know, I use microphone. I can't even know exactly. I have sometimes 50 people, 100 people in the class. I use my voice. I don't talk from here. I talk from your core. And that's very related. They use the microphone. You talk in microphone. It's loud. It's, you know, that you're not exercising. When you're teaching class, you're working. I don't have to kick and punch and whatever. I can just talk. You know, I can use my whole body. And that's really what it is. So
Wassim, we were for so many years in meetings talking about student service and putting students number one, but we were also talking about moving the C students to level B. We would rank students with technique, attitude, and skill and attendance. So with those criteria of attendance and technique and attitude, how do you move a C student to B, a B student to A, over a Zoom class, over virtual? Does anything come to your mind?
You know, yes. I mean, if you're doing, let's say, if you're teaching a class with 20 people, 10 people, and then you have one person he's not engaging, well, I can move him to B. I do private Zoom with them. I tell my guys, I said, just reach out to this person and tell them how great they are. And it's like, hey, let me show you that technique right now. And then 5 minutes, takes 5 minutes, a phone call. Now you do it through Zoom. Let me see, you know, I watched you were doing that form right there. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But you know, you were looking around. Can you do it again without looking around? Show me again. And now praise him a little bit. Hey, that was awesome. Now, next class when you come in, I want to see you doing that right now. Yes, sir. And now next Zoom class, guess what? That person gonna do the same exact thing. If I see him, or I can talk to you.
Great.
You know,
Wassim, we were always talking about the 3 R's: retention, retention, and retention. With virtual classes, it's tough. But why and how should we be thinking about retention, retention, retention? What would you say?
Well, with the state right now where we're on, like
yeah, where we are now, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah, what happened? Retain. You know what? Because you want them back, and you know exactly. And the reason why you want them back, of course, business is number one. We need to make sure that they still come and pay their tuition. But you're connecting with them, and if you connect with somebody, listen, it's almost like we become family. If your students are just students, they're not your students. They can be students for anyone else. You have to create a bond between you and your students. If not you, then actually your instructors. But you know, it goes in sequence. You go to your instructors, you build a good culture in your instructor build it with the other ones, but it's supposed to be the same culture, not their culture, but your culture, to make sure you still, you know, like it's the same culture being passing on from one. It's like a torch. You're passing on from one to the next one, right? But then, so what happened is with I went off course here, and then for retention itself, it's like you want to make sure that they are connected with you. So this way, at least, it's very easy for them when they let us open up the doors. They're still here. Now, let's say, as I said, they do in a class. Actually, right now you can make more attention because now they're not afraid, they're not embarrassed in front of the class. They're home doing their forms. And the reason why you lose people in your actual school is because sometimes you're teaching 20 people in the class alone, and then maybe 10 that did great, and you say, oh, that was awesome. But the other 10 parents are sitting right in the lobby. They see my child did not do it right, and you say it's good, you know. So that's, you lose people even when you're in your school. So in virtual classes, now all of a sudden you have that chance to be able to really say, hey, let me go back again, because we have all the time we can, right? So we can go and then recheck their form, or maybe when we open up the doors, retention. They did their class. Hey, you see somebody is on a C, okay, make a list, give them a call. Hey, we gotta go ahead, let's do a Zoom class with me and you for like 5 minutes. I want to check you out. Then you can move into B right away. you know, instead to have that a progress check. That's your progress check right now. Instead to do
Gotcha.
face to face, you can do virtual. You can do any time of the day.
Oh, you could do a mat check or a progress check virtual,
Absolutely.
or you
Absolutely.
can work with the parents about what's happening. Oh my gosh, a mat chat with the kids and the parents.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Wassim.
Can I interject for a second?
Yeah.
You know, something happened, which is about the parents and stuff. One of my cousins, you know, she had a boy. He's 5 years old, so he's a 5 years old, and then he came from you know, they came to visit. So he wanted to do martial art. He did one class of martial art classes, and then all of a sudden he's so excited whenever he sees me, because I thought the mother, the father, and everyone, right?
Okay.
I know. So I thought they all were the little kids, right? So basically they all know. Oh, I said, oh, Uncle Wassim is you know, he taught me. He's like, and then he's like, oh, if he looks at me like a hero type. And then one time I walked into a room, and then he was like misbehaving, and he was jumping, and I came and said hi, and he, hi. I said, how you doing today? Are you behaving? Yes, sir, I'm behaving. The mother was like, oh my God, they're laughing. He said, this is amazing. This kid is like, it's like, and this kid, 5 years old, I only see him maybe twice or three times. People love that.
Incredible.
You know,
Incredible.
it's like, you know, so, and then of course I sat down on my knees. I told him exactly this. I said, hey, you need to listen to mommy. I don't want to see you really misbehaving. Okay.
Right.
Said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, yes, sir. And then all this time he said, well, I'm gonna have you phone call. I'm gonna call Master Khechen, and then if you're not behaving, I'm gonna call him. So now it's like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody have this stick, right? Okay, I'm gonna call. No, don't call him.
Yes. Well, see, you've always been, I say this affectionately, kind of savvy. I mean, you're gritty. You know that you got to meet a payroll of 40 people. I mean, you got to hustle, and you got to get the team to hustle too. You think big, and you expect a lot out of your people, but you also are very creative, and you come up with ideas to make sure that income is coming in. I mean, we always put the students number one, but the question is a little bit different. So, and I want to pre-frame it this way. I was talking to a friend the other day, and his place of worship used to have X number of attendees on their service time. Now they have, because of their virtual, they have 3 times as many people. People have moved away. So you're talking about, wait a minute, you got black belts that are in parts of the United States. So how can you capture providing them with a program on the black belts that aren't with you? They moved away. What's your thought?
Well, yeah, this is, I mean, as I said, this is a plus for us, because, you know, now you have students, and how many, you know, listen, how many students if we sign 10 people a month, okay, so that's 120 students a year. Multiply that one, from those ones, and then sometimes you lose 120 and you get another 120. So, oh, I'm not growing. Well, yeah, there's some problem with retention. People move out of town. Maybe they do something, you know, they're not being connected and stuff. So now, let's say you have some black belt that they're committed, they're great, and all of a sudden they got their black belt, they moved out of town, they do whatever. Those are the ones you can capture. Now you can add them on. You don't have to charge them the 150. You can charge them half price for them to join maybe 2-3 times, whatever, once a week or twice a week, you know, virtual classes with all the other ones. So now you have an extra source of income. Even when you're a new student right now, you can even offer the virtual classes too as well. You can upcharge, instead to you charging 150, then you say, okay, it will be 180, you know, $30 extra, and that's an extra $30. Everyone will engage in that, you know. So it's an add-on service to it. So basically, you know, like, I really believe we are gonna be the only the company or the business that people want to come into us, especially our children. Our children are suffering home. They're only on the iPad and their phone and on TV. They want to be out. And basically martial art is something where we are going to be, it's going to be like, I mean, we're going to have we have virtual classes for new beginners, and we have almost 150 people in a virtual class. 150 people, new people. They're doing 2-week free classes. So now you don't have to, you can have a trial program coming in, and then a trial program coming in, and you have 10 people in your class, and then you have maybe 100 people, you know, online. working with them. And then whenever they're ready, you bring them to invite them to a class to come to the class. So basically, you don't have to have only, if when this whole thing is over, you don't have to just stop the virtual class, because they can do it from anywhere. Listen,
Right.
let's say somebody in Chicago, let's say, and you connect with them, and then they're doing class with you. How come they don't do classes with you? They can do classes with you. You know what happens is, I can charge them half price. They can do their testing. Whenever they test, I do a test, and I have the belt, boom, right there. I ship it to them with something, with a certificate. So, you can do a lot of stuff, right?
You could come up with an upgrade program for some of these students.
Absolutely. And then you can come up with a lot of stuff. And the weapon is easy. So you can even they can do weapon class, but you have to do the virtual stuff with them. So, and
Wassim, you know how we always say that weather will never impact how we think and our mood and our attitude, right? We don't even notice it. But you're in Buffalo. You got a lot of snow going on there. And you're saying to yourself, hey, during the snowstorms, I'm staying virtual, I ain't closing.
Absolutely.
What's your thought?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like we have bad weather sometimes, and people, they say, oh, we cannot drive. Good. Well, we are going to stream our classes too as well. So what happened is, even when we do classes, they can even have access to the class. If somebody wants to have access, they can have access to the class. They can work out at home while we're doing class. If they cannot. So there's an opportunities. The opportunities can be huge for all of us.
Wassim, in closing, let me ask you a provocative question. Knowing you, okay? Why are you not afraid? I mean, I know that that's a word. We don't admit that we have fear, but you're saying, look, I'm not afraid. I don't have fear over this situation. Yeah. Why?
Yeah, you know what? Because the situation is, we can only control. It's the control that we have is you can control yourself, and then, if you feel strong, there's nothing. It's like almost like I tell people, I said, if I'll be afraid to go outside because somebody's gonna attack me, then build yourself, become stronger than them outside, and then I can go outside. So, if one thing I tell people about this whole thing, this whole situation is like, you need to build yourself. You need to build your immune system. You need to become disciplined with yourself, discipline how you train, discipline how you breathe, discipline how you eat, discipline how you drink, discipline everything. I mean, what happened is, that's basically what it is. That's where we are martial artists. And I think martial arts is not about being the best one and be able to become the best fighter. No, it's the fighting yourself, because your worst enemy is you. And that's basically what it is. It's like the enemy that we're fighting is inside you. Fix that, and guess what? There's no enemy. So you should not be afraid.
You talk about discipline so much, and you think about discipline so much. So what I'm getting from you is that your sense of discipline in all these areas of your life is making you stronger.
Absolutely.
How? Why are you feeling strong? Because of your discipline, or anything else? Anything else you want to add?
My habits, my good habits. I have great habits. So you know what? And it's all about, life is about habits. When you get up in the morning, you feel like I can't. I know I shared with you last time 2 years ago, I said, I did my double hip surgery like 7-8 years ago. And then I was a kicker. I was pretty fast, good kicker, I'm Taekwondo. So, and then I said, God took away. I mean, I was questioning me. I said, man, I got my PhD in engineering. I was professor. I was working, and all this time it's like, I gave that for the martial art. And now I cannot even show my martial art skill to those guys, because I'm like, I said, wow, what can I do? And then really where it is like, I said, well, I need to come up with something. I need to improve myself. I said, well, those hips are gonna be fine if I give them the time to heal, and I'll be back again. So I said, well, let me pick up a routine. And that's basically what it is. Sometimes something happened. You say, oh my gosh, I can. No, it's good that I had hip surgeries. You know why? Because it put me in the person where I am right now. Because I felt like, what? I could break down anytime. And then the only time I can stop myself from breaking down is have great habits so I don't break down. So I started doing my push-ups, and I started doing and I was building almost like 1,000 push-ups a day, because I need to work my upper body. And I've been doing that for 7 years straight since my last surgery. So in 2013, I do morning and evening, and then no stopping. Even if I'm like that tired, I don't, you know why? Because I say it in my mind, it's discipline. Have good habits. And then now I said, my habits, I look at other people, I said, man, look at those habits. Look what they're doing. So I try to make sure now I see those habits so bad and I feel I can fix you. I can fix you. That's why I feel like,
Why do you want me to stay strong? Why do you want
because
me?
I want equal like people, because I love people. That's why it is. Because I want to see people happy. This is me. I mean, you know, and I think we'll all have the same thing. You just have to love yourself, be happy with yourself, and then you know what? You're not gonna see nothing but happiness around you. So
Excellent.
it's just something for habits, discipline, and love. That's the way it is. And then, you know, right now we don't have the opportunity to hug each other and stuff, but man, that hug and that shaking hand is like, it's so powerful. We missed it, and sometimes we ignore that fact. Like, you know how we shake hand, we bow like this. Yeah, you know why we bow? Because I respect you. You know, and you do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why humans are for.
Right.
And people don't even do that. They shake hand like this, like they touch hands. Like, I mean, don't even touch my hand. You know,
Great.
now,
Habits, discipline, and love. That's what I got. What a
yes, sir.
great piece. What a great sense of energy, and what a great sense of professionalism, Wasim, that you brought to the martial art world locally and globally. We're very, very appreciative and thankful for your great words of wisdom today. I am blessed to know you as a great professional martial artist and as a friend.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Be safe.
Peace.
Bye now.